the Dork Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the Dork Podcast. Ryan Davis. It's the Dork Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag Dork Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, and no Ryan Davey this time because I want people on this show that love these movies. Ryan Davey does not love these movies, so I'm not going to make him watch them all again and talk about them. So instead, filling his shoes is none other than Billy D. Billy D, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. Here to talk about one of my favorite movies of all time, and then 5 other ones.
Okay, it's too much negativity already, but that's okay.
No, I'm not gonna goo this thing with naked guy.
Naked guy. He's like, it's not that funny. I was like, God damn it. Well, famously, Billy D and our buddy Jason Rossi used to have a podcast together, and then the podcast stopped, which happens to most podcasts, and then they brought it back for Scream 5, and then it went out again for a couple of years, and then they came back for Scream 6, and then I think that was the last episode.
Well, I love Scream. I do. I love all of the Screams, but I think like as good movies, they're hit or miss. Like we're going to get really into it, obviously.
Yes,
but it's a lot of fun, and we were the Scream podcast. It's tough to wrangle Rossi these days, so it's me and you right now.
It is. We invited him. Rossi had something come up, as did Gu. It was going to be a 4-man podcast, but honestly, this is probably better. This way, it won't be a 5-hour podcast. This way, it's just me and Billy D talking about these. And so obviously it's going to be spoilers for all of them as Scream 7 comes out this week. We'll do a Scream 7 review next week, but we'll talk about all 6 of these movies, which I rewatched all of them in the last week or so. They're all on Paramount Plus right now.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Every one of them is on Paramount Plus. I have a bunch of them on DVD, but not that that's really going to help me in this day and age. I look like one thing to do for each one of these is the opening sequence, the ending, who the killers are, who the MVP is, and then maybe some other lingering questions. And so let's just go in order. So Scream 1 comes out in 1996. I am 12 years old when it comes out. I don't see it in the theater. And in fact, at that point, I was terrified of horror movies. It wasn't that I wasn't allowed to see them. It was that I was just too scared to. Like, I could have probably seen all of them. My parents probably would be like, go ahead. Terrified. This was the gateway, like many people our age, where this is sort of the gateway for me. And I've told this story on the podcast, but I'll tell it again now because we're talking about these movies. Having DirecTV, they had all the pay-per-view channels. Remember, like in the one. Oh, yeah. And every movie, they'd give you 5 free minutes, and then it would black out or you would buy it. And so whenever this came streaming, it was like 1997 because this came out December of 96. So I was probably 13 by the time I finally actually saw the movie. But I watched the first 5 minutes like 30 times. Like I would just watch the first 5 minutes, which is you don't even get to the kill. It's just Drew Barrymore on the phone with these guys talking about what her favorite scary movie is and like making popcorn. So I watched it a million times. And then finally I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy this movie. I watched it. Obviously, I thought there were scary parts. And then they referenced so many movies, Bill, that got me like, I got to go watch all those movies. And it's like, I'm now a sicko horror fan specifically because of Scream 1.
So I have a little bit different story. It was my sister's favorite movie, this movie, because she loved Billy Loomis, and I'm wearing my Billy Loomis white V-neck in honor of him tonight. And we weren't balling with DirecTV, so we had the black box. So I watched this movie a ton growing up, and famously, I hate horror movies. Didn't like them at all, but I did love Scream because my sister always watched it. I thought it was a great movie, and I will say, rewatching it this time for this podcast, it is actually beautifully shot. Like I was blown away. Like, there's a lot of Dutch angles and a lot of classic horror stuff, but there's a shot where she first goes to like her house or whatever it is, and like there's the big whiny shot of her on the phone, and then she comes in. It's like a breathtaking, unbelievable shot. So the first movie I think is the best horror movie I've ever seen. Because with Rossi, he made me watch one when we were doing the podcast regularly, we would watch a horror movie every single week in October. And this is it was my favorite then, and it's still my favorite now.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely my favorite. I go back and forth on like this and the original Halloween if somebody's like, what's the best? But I also think favorite and best are the same thing. So I usually go with this one. And obviously it just kind of sets the bar for all of them. And like a lot of franchises, the first one often is the best. And I just think that first scene, and you're right, like to talk about like how it's shot too. So it's like not just like a slasher, and it's Wes Craven. And so that's another thing is like after I saw Scream, Wes Craven had already made like a million movies, and then so you go back and watch like all of those, and the guy's got a bunch of timeless classics. But the opening now is so classic, and just like hearing the phone ring, like the very first part of the movie, even before you like cut to it, they're still showing, was it Miramax or whatever? They're still showing that thing, and it's like the phone rings, and then she answers it. And again, also for people in 1996, there were landline phones, and it was like you did answer the landline phone. She definitely she talks to him for a little while though.
So there's like 4 or 5 calls, and I think like the third one, she kind of like is like flirty with him and like, oh, I don't have a boyfriend. And it was very much that like you would get those kind of calls, like not like gonna kill you calls, but you get like people like, talking on the phone to you like that weren't like got a wrong number or something. At least I would.
Yeah.
So like it was a relatable scene, like, oh, I dialed the wrong number. And it just builds on that so quickly. And everything about that first scene, I think, is a pinnacle opening scene in a horror movie. And I think, we're gonna rank them or talk about them.
Yeah.
It's so awesome that they try to either top, recreate, or pay homage to that scene. They're probably never ever going to top it. It would be a feat to top that opening scene. Because they killed Drew Barrymore. That's the other thing about it. Like you saw Drew Barrymore in the poster. She's in all the stuff. And she's out within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that was like that was a shock, even though that was something that happened in Psycho, and that's sort of like an homage to Psycho, like you're saying. Like, there's so many homages to so many different things, but like at the time, that was a surprise to so many people. Like that can't, Psycho was 36 years prior to that, and so you're like, all right, this is going to be Drew Barrymore's movie. This is sort of the lead for Drew Barrymore, and then obviously things change. In fact, Drew Barrymore, they wanted her for Sydney. Like, this is the old story, and this has been said a lot, but like they're like, we want you to be like the lead of this, and this is like going to be in it. And she's reading the script, she's like, no, this is what I want to do. And she was at the time a bigger star, and yeah, so that was like that shocked a lot of people. Obviously, you and I, we just did a Clue episode. We both love whodunits, and that's the other great thing about Scream is they're all whodunits. It's not, oh, there's Michael Myers, which I like, I appreciate, or Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger, but it's like each movie, within the movie and within the crazy kills and within all the like the new characters, there's the whole aspect of like who done it, or like how many done it, and like how are you going to figure it out as the movie's going on, which is great, and probably also why it stands like a notch above all these other slasher type movies that I also like.
And to Davey's point when he was talking about Clue, especially the first movie, they give you like it could be this guy, it could be that guy, it could be this guy, but there's no like crazy twists, right? You pretty much think it's Billy, and then like, oh, it's Stu too. Like that's cool, and that's a unique thing that there's 2 killers, and the only movie that kind of sucks is 3 that only had 1 killer. But it is just like it does all the tropes, it does all those things, but it doesn't treat you like you're an idiot. Like it's just a straight up good, logical, awesome movie.
Yeah. And I just like how it's one of the first movies I saw, maybe one of the first movies going, that it's just characters living in a world where they've seen horror movies. Cause like it's just for so long, it was all those like cliches of like, would you run up the stairs, or like, what would you do? Like do all this stuff, like this stupid stuff, like people yelling at the screen. It's like, all right, they might still do stupid stuff at times, but they're at least acknowledging that these things exist, and some of them are trying to prepare you for them. I like every movie where they explain the rules. I'm sure some people kind of roll their eyes at it, but like I love that part. Like I think that's great. Also, why I think they got rid of Randy way too soon.
Yeah. Out of all the people they kept around forever, to eliminate Randy early was kind of
I think Scream 1 has the best open out of all of these, and one of the best opens in horror movies. I also think it has one of the best endings in all horror movies, because you're trying to piece together the whole movie, like who it is. And then they get to like a party, and it's at a house, and then a bunch of people are getting like they're leaving, right? They're leaving the house, and all of a sudden you get like the big reveal, and everybody starts talking about it. Look at this. Gu's joining the show. Where are you?
Oh, there's inches of snow outside right now. No, I was here to say hi to Rossi. Where's Rossi?
Rossi can't make it.
Oh, why am I here then?
I don't know.
I'm on the Scream team. That's why.
This is the Scream team. Real quick, we were just talking about Scream 1. We're going in order. However, before we let you go, you texted me a theory And why don't you tell us what
Yeah.
the theory is? Because these are all spoilers, obviously. So you have a theory, and then I have a follow-up question, but go ahead.
Okay, so this theory would pull at the string of all of the other movies, so I'm not sure if they'd want to do this. But what if Courtney Cox is secretly the third killer the entire time?
All right. So Gail Weathers.
Did you lose me?
Yeah, but we heard you.
Hello.
Yeah, you're kind of going in and out video wise, but we heard the theory. So basically, Billy, he's saying that Gail Weathers' character is a secret killer the entire time.
It would take a lot out of the other movies, but it looks like they're about to throw a big curveball, and we'll get a 7, I'm sure, and a little bit of a preview at the end with what they might be doing there.
Yeah.
I don't love it because she seemed to really care about Dewey.
Yeah.
And when he got killed, like that was a big moment. And yeah, I mean, anything goes in horror movies.
I like this. I like the spirit of the Keefspiracy. I don't think it's true. I guess my question for you, Gu, is like, do you mean secret just to the audience, or secret also to the other killers? Like she's just adding kills so she can like report on them and write books on them.
Ooh, so I like that one as well. No, I was saying secretive as in like not all of the killer's moves add up in each movie, and there seems to be an extra element to what's happening. Could there be a third person that has been helping the whole time?
Well, I think, Scream 3, the big reveal is that Roman Bridger he was pulling the strings from 1. So I guess you could make the case that he was there for 1 and 2. And then the other one is, and if you guys know the spoilers, don't tell me, but there's like Stu Macher spoilers too. Like he might be in Scream 7, and like, so if he survives, could he be fucking involved in all these too? Like if you want another set of hands, I guess that's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, no, I don't hate any of, like, to me, anything in a horror movie, it's all fair game.
Yes.
But I do really like certain movies in the franchise because it's so solidly done, like the ending, the killers, and how it all plays out.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of them where I look at it where it's not like that, where it's like loose, and you're like, yeah, like 3. It's like, yeah.
3.
No, I don't think they should do that because, I mean, much like in the Halloween series, whenever you start to add a little bit of lore to it, it takes away from the original.
Yeah.
Let's not bother with that.
Yeah, I agree.
I just thought it was interesting. That's all. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Q. Always a pleasure. All right, very good.
You thought it would be funny. I thought it would be interesting.
I said it would be interesting. I'm not going to fucking do it. All right, so the ending. Oh, I have a real question. Going back to the beginning. This is an important question. So at the beginning of Scream 1, and Drew Barrymore finally reveals that she does have a boyfriend, and he's big, and he plays football, and he'll kick the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Stephen Orff sitting on the chair, taped up with tape over his mouth. 2 questions, Bill. What position did Steve Orff play in football, do you think?
Oh, I'm not the kicker, a punter, like from just a look at him real quick.
Wasn't that big?
Maybe like a slot receiver.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm like, and would he be good? Would he be like a captain of Woodsboro High or not so much?
And he had the Letterman jacket, so he played all the years.
He was rocking the Letterman jacket, which is true. But either Billy or Steve, I think, took him out by themselves because the other one was on the phone while the other one took him out. So it's like, I don't know. Although he could have blindsided him, so maybe he was a good football.
I think she was just trying to scare him. He was not big. He was not burly.
He did not seem that big. No, and he was just kind of sitting there. So Stu's house, the after party, and then the ending, and then the big reveal. And I just remember as like a 13-year-old thinking how crazy it was because the whole time you definitely suspected Billy because like Skeet Ulrich, just the look about him, you're like, all right, maybe they want you to think it's him too much, so it can't be him. But you're like, I kind of think it's him. Like he kind of looks like first of all, he looks like a 28-year-old high school student, and you're like, it kind of has to be this guy. So when he's revealed to be one of the killers, it's not that shocking. But then when Stu is, it caught me by surprise. But then their setup plan, it's the first time I remember in a movie, 2 killers trying to get away with the kill and then attacking each other because they're like, this will prove that like we obviously aren't the killers and like we survived, but like we obviously got all cut up too. So when they're stabbing each other, I'm like, this is the most fucked up thing, but also incredible.
And it gives you some of the best like lines. Like, I'm feeling woozy, dude. Like,
yeah.
Like there are so many good things. Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun. Like everything about the ending scene is intense, surprising, funny,
Yeah.
and exciting. Like it is as good as it gets. So they really set such a difficult bar.
Mhm.
I think they touch it a couple of times. They get close,
Mm.
and like some of the kills are really good. Some of the endings are more creative, and there's like one or two that like they do too much dialogue and they're like, "Oh, this is your kill," or like, "You do this one." And it's like, I liked Scream 1 so much because there was
Yeah.
no wasted motion. There was no like catchphrases. It was just like, this is how it would play out in like in that moment. And that's what I love about it.
It was like they had everything so organized, and then all of a sudden to a point they didn't. And so there were two other things just from like years of stories being told about it. Some of it's from like watching the old DVD like commentaries and
Mhm.
stuff. I guess in the original script, the principal Himbry was not murdered, and it was like they had gone too long. So Henry Winkler's character, they'd gone too long like without a kill, and so like the production,
Mm.
like they were like, "Hey, you need something else," and because it does seem kind of like random, but then it's also it helped get the kids out of there. That was the other thing they needed. They're like, we need people to leave the house. And so like everybody like took off and like went after him because
Mm.
they wanted to go see a dead body. So I guess they added that part. One thing I didn't really understand was this is also just like a movie thing. There's a scene where it's in the middle of the day and there's like they announce that there's like a curfew and they're at like a store and they're like just shopping and like getting ready for the night. And you just like see Ghostface like dressed as Ghostface like popping around.
You see him a couple of times. You see him when they're at the porch too.
Yeah.
I thought that was just such a cool nod to like stupid old like Scooby Doo or like
Yeah.
old school horror movies.
Yeah.
I remember watching it like this time and being like, and remarking in my head, being like, I kind of like it. Like just
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it's just like what would you call it? Like cheeky or like kitsch or whatever.
Yeah, it is a little kitsch. I could see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
just
liked it.
it's just sort of like stringing it along. It's like you don't want to go too long, I guess, without seeing the killer or like the mask. You don't want to go too long without any kind of like real action in there. But Billy and Stu, I think, are also like the opening, like the ending, kind of set the bar really high for the whole series. Those are the two of the best killers, and the whole idea is like the Billy's mom thing, and then like the Stu motivation. He's like, yeah, you don't need one. You know what I mean? Like that's fucked up and kind of ahead of its time too. Where
Mhm.
it's like he didn't even have. What's your motive? I don't need one.
He would be my MVP of the movie.
So mine is Randy Meeks, only
Oh
because
yeah,
I love. No, Stu's a great one though, but like Randy to me was
oh,
awesome.
he's great.
Just rattling. So he has all the rules. He does like
What's a
impressions.
suspect?
Yes, he's like standing up there. He's like explaining to everybody what you could do. Like never say I'll be right back. You know, don't do drugs, don't drink, don't have sex, like the whole thing. But like going down all the list, all the movies from like the 70s and 80s, specifically the 80s, and then him being like, these are all the things. This is how you survive a horror movie. Great character, love him. Working at a video store, movie obsessed guy, like love Randy. Um, Another one was Tatum. I like Tatum a lot.
Yeah,
Rose
good.
McGowan's character. I never really understood the garage door death though. It's one of the most famous ones from the movie, but she like crawls through and she's obviously very, very light, but there's no way the garage door is gonna like continue to go up with her in the doggy door.
And then be enough force to like kill her.
Yeah, it was like a little. I don't know about that one.
I think it's just like classic 80s horror. They
Yeah.
needed like a specialty kill, you know, that wasn't just the knife.
That one bummed me out though. That is up there with like Sarah Michelle Gellar and I Know What You Did Last Summer dying. Like I was bummed when both those characters died. So I was like, they didn't have to kill her. It's like, I guess they did. All right, Scream 2 comes out the very next year, 1997. They open the theater or they open the show in a movie theater, and they've already gone like extra meta where they've already now made a movie about the Woodsboro killings. And so the movie's called Stab, and they're in it's like a college town at a theater. You get Omar Epps, Jada Pickett, and they're in there. Everybody in the crowds get Scream masks on, and she dies. She dies in front. She gets stabbed. She dies in front of everybody. What did you
Omar
think?
Epps gets glory hold too.
Glory hole. Yeah, you hear like a little the freaky whispers, like the
And then just like stabbed through the thing. I thought that was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
thought it was great because it gives you like you said, the meta opening. And you know, if some like I've never been in a movie theater like that, but like I will say the Borat crowd, when I was there, someone got killed in that.
Yeah.
Like it would have taken me a minute to notice. So I thought it was a cool way to open the movie, and it introduces the Scream stab into the universe that
Mhm.
already like talked about horror movies.
Yeah, I liked it. I also liked you could say it's a little corny, but then it sets up that Jada Pickett's character's name is Maureen, like Maureen Prescott, and Omar Epps' character is Phil Stevens, so like Stephen Orff. So it's like if they're trying to like redo Scream 1, they're doing it with some of the same names. This one ends on like a stage, like a theatrical, like theater college production, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of like sounds, there's a lot of like crazy kind of like images and stuff, and you find out that Sydney's boyfriend, played by Jerry O'Connell, was just sort of like a red herring. He was just a good guy. He was like legitimately a good guy. He didn't do anything wrong.
He gets shot, and that was shocking the first
Yeah.
time I saw it. That was legit. Like he just pulls out a gun, boom, right in the chest.
Just gets fucking smoked. And so in Scream 2, the killers are revealed to be Billy's mom, which she lost a ton of weight, and also Sydney never really sees her, but she's around the movie a lot. She's a reporter now, and she talks to Gail Weathers like a few times. But Gail doesn't recognize her until Sydney says something. But Sydney does recognize her when she sees her, but they make a joke that she's like lost like a ton of weight. So like Nancy Loomis is now doubling as Debbie Salt, a local reporter. So she's around the movie a lot, as is the other killer, Timothy Oliphant, Mickey Altieri's character. And so the reveal at the end, how do you feel about this?
I don't hate it. I do think it's up there. It's probably the best, or one of the best sequels in movie.
Yeah, it's a great sequel.
It's a great sequel. The reveal, he's kind of like a little too over the top, and like I don't love Timothy Oliphant anyways.
Okay.
I don't think he fits the mold of the psycho, but it's not bad by any means.
The one thing that's weird watching it again is just like, so the Nancy one, I actually love it because the first movie, one in that first 5 minutes, when the Ghostface is given Drew Barrymore or Casey Becker like these trivia questions, and they're like, "Who's the killer in Friday the 13th?" And then he's like, "Jason, Jason, Jason, Jason." She's like, "No, that's in the second one. Like Jason's mom is the killer." So like they're giving you sort of the answer to Scream 2 like right away. It's sort of
That
like
is kind of nice, yeah.
an homage to that. So that one's good. Like I think that's good motivation. That one makes sense. She does mention though, she's like, she basically found Mickey on like a serial killer website or something.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess there's the dark web, but I'm like, what is it? What are we doing here with that?
There is one of the most tense scenes, I think, in the entire franchise in this movie when she's crawling out of the car over him.
Yes.
That is
Yep.
peak like tension. That was great.
That was really good. Yeah, when she's in there and with her friend, and like there's always those instances in like, all these movies, or anytime there's a masked killer, when you're like, do I get away or do I like find out who it is?
Yeah.
Or like, what do you like? How do you risk that? This movie was great too because you get Rebecca Gayheart at the peak of her powers as like, one of the sorority sisters. I loved Rebecca Gayheart growing up, and also Sarah Michelle Gellar, who had a small role in this as Cece, one of the sorority sisters. Obviously, she's going to be in I Know What You Did Last Summer, also in the same year. But you get both of those. Now, the real downer of this movie is Randy getting killed.
Yeah. And like in a weird way too.
Yeah, they're listening to the Cottonmouth Kings, like and then like he's like talking shit, and like he's out there with Gail and Dewey, and he's on the phone, and then he gets pulled into a van and like stabbed to death, and you're like, damn.
Yeah, out of all the people they could have kept, he would have been top tier to keep at least for a few movies. But I don't know if they knew how long it was going to go.
Yeah, that might be it. Like if they thought it was only going to be 2 movies, then I could sort of see that. But I honestly would. I think he could be in every one of these movies. I think you'd have him. I could listen to him talk to like the new generation of people for 5 straight minutes on like how to survive a horror movie, or like how things have changed or whatever else. I think that should be in every movie. In fact, jump to Scream 3, they felt the same way because they came up with some bullshit thing where they're like, oh, Randy actually recorded something for you, and like here it is. And it's like they knew how important he was because Scream,
and they put him kind of in the other movies with his relatives too.
True. Yeah, he's got a niece and nephew, and even his sister who popped up in Scream 3 and was the one that delivered the tape. But that was like one of my favorite scenes in Scream 3.
Oh yeah,
this like ridiculous video of him explaining to Sydney and Gail about trilogies, and you're like, all right, we're dealing with a trilogy. Let's get to Scream 3. Comes out in 2000. you may have seen the stories about this, but it was originally going to be much more violent than it was. But then following Columbine, studios were like, hey, let's kind of like ease off it a little bit. So they went a little bit more of a comedy route, which I think it misses in a lot of spots. It's probably the worst one, although I think you can argue the most recent. It's either Scream 3 or Scream 6 in my mind. Also, the Angelina, the character that was cast in This Is Now Stab 3, that was going to be Sidney Prescott. I guess in the original movies, she was also going to be like a second killer. And they scrapped that. There was also talk about Stu being revealed to be in prison in this movie and like pulling the strings from prison.
That would have been better because then that would have set up more down the road. I always thought, the TV might not have killed him.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that later. But
There's a chance. So Scream 3, anyway, the open is now Cotton Weary, who's a cool character, kind of like Scream 1. He's like in it for a second and they refer to him. Scream 2, he's in it a little bit more. Liv Schreiber. And now
he's pretty good. Scream 2 there at the ending. I actually did like that because he wanted the interview with like Barbara Walters or something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how they end the movie is he kills Mrs. Loomis and he's kind of not a good guy because he was like, I think he was going to save Sydney eventually, but like he's kind of playing her with her life on the line.
Yeah.
I know people don't love this open. I think it's pretty decent. I like the cloning his voice, the time constraint on him getting there, his girlfriend not believing him. It's not as tense, but I do think it is good and interesting.
Yeah, upon rewatch, I like Scream 3 way more than I thought. I originally remember thinking like this is by far and away the worst one, especially after like the first two. This one stinks, and it's still the worst of these three. But it's a good opening sequence, and it's a change. That's the other thing the series does is like they always give you like a little something extra. They're not just running back the same playbook. And this one is sort of like they introduce like a voice changer. So rather than just like the Ghostface voice, they're like mimicking people's voices, and it causes all kinds of haywire. So I actually like the opening as well. The ending, they're in a giant mansion, so it's a cool setting.
Probably the worst one though.
Yeah, it gets a little out of control. And I also, as we mentioned earlier, I don't love the Roman Bridger being a lost half brother to Sydney and not only working alone, which I guess is fine. He's the only solo Ghostface killer. But like saying that he pushed Billy to this, you're like, oh, so now we're taking some of the credit away from Billy. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I didn't love that. I don't love this movie overall. I think the first scene is like pretty good, and Sydney's pretty good throughout the movie, but overall, definitely the weakest. I don't even know who my MVP from this. Who did I put down? It's probably Sydney.
Yeah, I went with Parker Posey's Jennifer Jolly. I thought I like Parker Posey and everything, and she was pretty good as like the stab version of Gale Weathers. Now this also, I was reading this. I didn't put this together, but I read this. I guess like whatever 8-10 years ago, people started to look at Scream 3 a little bit differently after the whole Harvey Weinstein thing.
Yeah, they kind of hit it.
It like they were right on it, and so he produced the first 3 Scream movies, maybe even the first 4. Like he was one of the producers of all these, and in this movie there's a lot of producers being scumbags and like being awful to women and like them getting roles that way, and like a ton of talk about it like right out there in the open. And this guy's like producing the movie this whole time, and so some people have now since looked back and been like, all right, they were kind of like ahead of their time in that. I don't know, it's another way to look at it, I guess. This movie also has the greatest soundtrack of all time.
Doesn't it start with
It starts with Creed.
Yeah, dude.
It starts.
I think Davey's with me. Creed's good.
Creed's good. It somehow starts and ends with Creed, but then it's like System of a Down, Slipknot, Orgy, Dope. It's like awesome. It's like fantastic. Jay and Silent Bob are in this movie.
I don't even remember that.
So they're going through like they're on set because obviously they're filming. The whole idea is they're filming Stab, and so all of a sudden Jay and Silent Bob are taking like a studio tour.
Yes,
and they see Gale Weathers, and he's like, "Hey, isn't that Connie Chung?" Or like, he has like some line about that. But so then it just opens the door up to the whole View Askew-averse, and you're like,
Mhm.
are these movies in that universe? And if they make another Clerks movie, like, could they reference like the Woodsboro murders?
Also, this is the one with the crazy bangs from Courtney Cox.
Yeah, this is, and even she would acknowledge she looks wild in these.
Yeah.
These are
She's probably I don't know, did we do MVP for Scream 2? She'd probably be my MVP of Scream 2. She was good
oh,
in
good
Scream.
point. Yeah, no, we didn't. Yeah, good call. I would probably go either with Rebecca Gayheart, very small role.
Mhm.
Sarah Michelle Gellar. Those two as my favorites. I mean, you could. Randy's still there. It was like a what the fuck
Mhm.
that he died, but he was in there, so you could. He's still a contender. The only other thing from Scream 3 I got is, and this is sort of about the Weinstein stuff, but like the Carrie Fisher,
Yeah.
sort of a weird part with her being like, I don't like when they do this in the movie. Remember in Ocean's 12 when they're like, "Hey, she looks just like Julia Roberts," and you're like, "She is Julia Roberts."
Yeah.
It's like in this movie, she's like, "You look like her," and she's like, "Yeah, I know, but she had sex with George Lucas or whatever the line is." All right, so then we don't get another Scream movie for 11 years. And
2011, yeah.
yeah, Scream 4 comes out, which I think is wildly underrated. And it also kind of stands alone because it's like in between like a trilogy and then now this is like new trilogy and it's like directly in the middle. It's like 10 to 11 years between each one. But I really, really like this movie.
So I think they get the closest to reinvigorating the opening and the ending scene in this Scream. The opening scene is like crazy meta. It's the one with, is it 4 fake opens? Like 4
Yeah, it's
okey
like you're
dokes?
watching, you think it's the beginning, but it's actually stab 5, and then it's actually stab 6. Oh, no, it's like stab 6, then it's stab 7, then it's 2 girls that actually live in Woodsboro. It's great. I love that. I think it's
Mhm.
really good.
And they wind up, isn't one of them like a couple of them in there are like famous, right?
Oh, yeah. So one of them in the movie is Anna Paquin and Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
Another one is Shanae Grimes, who was in like the 90210 reboot, and somebody else. And then even like the one that I think was real, it's the daughter from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. So it's, to
Yeah.
me, that one is a great open. And then I think it's probably the second best ending.
Yeah,
I
so
love the ending.
a hospital ending. I thought Emma Roberts was really good.
Oh,
So
she's great.
you get Jill and Charlie are the killers in this one. And so Jill is the cousin of Sydney. It's like you can already tell she's like a little bit jealous of her because then she comes back to town and they're just like terrorizing a bunch of like their high school classmates at first, but then they sort of turn to everybody else, including Sydney, and I guess it's Sydney's aunt, right? Yeah, Emma Roberts' mom. So the new version basically of Randy is Kirby, who is played by Hayden Panettiere, who would be my MVP. I love.
She was great.
Yeah, she was. Really
I thought Jill was probably my MVP just because it's a great motive where
Yeah.
it's just she's after fame.
Yeah.
That's fucking
For sure.
crazy.
And also, like in 2011, you'd know better than I would, Bill. But like live streaming and doing stuff like that seemed like a little ahead of its time.
It was like they were doing it, but to me that also, because when I rewatched the opens and endings and like key scenes, because I only rewatched Scream 1 for this, but I thought this was introduced in the other 2 movies when they did the live streaming stuff from like I was like, oh shit, that was in 4. I was like confusing it with 5. So yeah, it was very ahead of its time. And I didn't really care for Charlie, but to me, Jill was great.
Yes. Yeah. Jill just was like using Charlie, but you're right. Jill was just like the wanting to be famous motive, get out of the shadow of her cousin. But then like what they were doing and like filming themselves all the time and like posting it online and like all that stuff was really good. You also get Anthony Anderson in there as a police officer. Scream 5, which they
Just quickly though,
Yeah, go ahead.
the ending is elite though. Like
Oh, the ending? Yeah.
when she thinks she's done her job, she wakes up in the hospital and then she figures out, oh shit, like this
Mhm.
isn't over, and then Dewey figures it out too. That is a great what do they call it? Dramatic irony where like you kind of know as he's talking to her, like everybody's still good. And like I loved that ending.
That was really good. Yeah, she knew something. I forget now because I watched them all together in a row. But you're right. Jill knew something or whatever, and then like Gail's like, "How would you know that?" or whatever. And then it was like, "Oh fuck!" And then they were like on and running. Even like the scene I even like it's stupid. They used it in the trailer, but like I liked it. Is when they're asking Kirby like movie questions, and they're like, "What's the remake of?" And she names like 100 remakes. Like she's like screaming remakes. But that scene's good because they also like recreate Scream 1, and like Charlie's like sitting there, like our guy Stephen Orff, just like sitting in the chair. And then she's like, "Can you trust him?" And then she's like, she shuts the door on him. But like Sydney was right to be like, "You can't trust this guy." Yeah, a lot of good stuff in this one. But also at this point too, all the kids are like very well aware of like the history of Woodsboro, and they're also like obsessed with like the stab movies, and they have stabathons and all that shit. So that was good. So Kirby's my MVP for this one. Who'd you go? You went Jill. Um, but then we wait another 11 years, which is odd. Well, so Wes Craven passes away after this, and maybe that was part of it.
By the way, did you hear how Wes Craven lived his life after making all his money?
No,
He just played video games.
this guy's the man.
He just like retired, played video games.
Guys, absolutely a legend. He was my favorite, or is my favorite horror director. He had so many good ones, and so he did Scream 4. That was his last movie that he made.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he died in 2015.
Damn.
But then they reboot the franchise, and
Great reboot.
yeah. And so one thing that's kind of whatever about is they just call it Scream, which is like a lot of these do. Halloween,
mean-
Scream, Candyman did it, like stupid.
I like you could have easily just worked it into the M, like make the V in the M. Like
Oh, 100%.
it's right there. It's right there. Like they did it with Scream 6. They put the
Exactly.
VI. Like just come on.
I think everybody refers to it as Scream 5, but it was
Yeah.
Scream. It was also the first time I heard the word requel, which is great.
Mhm.
So it was a reboot, but you're also bringing back the legacy characters. This open is like Jenna Ortega now in the role basically of Casey Becker, and this one's a little bit different because it takes place in 2022. So like she does have a landline, but she also has a phone. So she's getting a call on the landline, but she's like looking at her phone, and then she obviously survives it. So like I liked that part of it where it wasn't the most original idea because it basically they're trying to like just take you back to like the original open. But then a nice little twist, like she actually survives it, and then she becomes one of the main characters, at least for 2 movies. We know she's not going to be back for the third one.
Yeah, no. And this one to me, I didn't love.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't like the open, but anytime someone gets a compound fracture, that to me is worse than seeing someone's guts. Like when they like snap her ankle, I'm just like, oh god. I did like it because they played with a lot of the new elements of like lock the door, like the auto locking doors and stuff. And it was a very aggressive ghost face. And the killers in this one, I mean, they basically just rip off the character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I love.
Yeah.
Like she even dies the same way, but like she's incredible.
She's amazing. And so, yeah, fast forward. So Amber, played by Mikey Madison, is one of the killers. And I just love the fact that there is an Oscar award-winning actor or actress who is a Scream killer. Like, it's amazing. So, like, I love Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard. Love those guys. Like, they're not Academy Award-winning actors, right? And then you have Mikey Madison. And then even Richie, played by, what's his name?
Oh, I hate him, but yeah.
Yeah. Like
I just hate his face. He's actually an incredible actor.
He's in a ton
and
of
he's
stuff.
great in this movie.
Yeah.
I think he's awesome.
He is. He's good in this. It's funny. Our producer, Jones and Keefe, Nick, was like, he had seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood first, and he was just like, as soon as he saw Amber, he's like, that's definitely her. And you're like, yeah, I get that. I bet a lot of people felt the same way. We're like, that's probably her. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't love the open overall to this movie, but I did really like the movie overall. The new characters were strong. They brought back like the big 3, obviously. The ending.
Gu would talk about the ghost dad, which I didn't love. It's fine. They try to make him look young.
Yeah, the de-aging is weird.
Yeah, it hurts it. But I did like it though. I did really like her one like superhero line was like, you don't fuck with a serial killer's daughter or whatever. Yeah. That was kind of cool. Yeah. And this ending, the only thing I don't like about this ending, it's like there's like a moment where it like slows down and Amber is like getting ready to be killed, and like Sydney hands her the gun. It's like, just have Courtney Cox pick up. I hate that shit. It's where it's like, this one's yours. It's like that took 40 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
you take this one. You got this one, bud. And so basically, instead of like one new Sidney Prescott, you kind of have two.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Sam and you have Tara. And so Sam. Oh, and by the way, like all the names are all like homages. Like there's like so Carpenter, obviously John Carpenter from Halloween. There's a Mackenzie girl in this. They also in Scream 1, they say go to the Mackenzies, which is what Laurie Strode says to the kids in Halloween. Like there's just like a million of those. There's like a bracket. There's so many of those. But so Sam and Tara are sisters, and I remember going back during our review of this. This drove me nuts because I love these movies. I will defend these movies and everything else. The ages don't fucking line up, and I'll tell you why. They confirm that Sam and Tara, so Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, are sisters in this. Confirm multiple times that they're 5 years apart. They're 5 years apart. I think they're like, oh, when Sam was 13, Tara was 8. And then like when she was like 18 or whatever, she like came back and like all this stuff. So they say that all right. The years all take place like in real life, right? So like 1996 Scream, I think they're like they came out in 1996 or 1997, like depending on like the year. There's no way Billy could have a daughter that is that age, right? She could not possibly have he'd be dead if she was 23 years old, right? So like, all right, so I'm not explaining this very well. So so Billy died.
I got you.
1996, 1997, and you find out that he had gotten another classmate pregnant, and then now this is Billy Loomis's daughter. But the year is 2022, so it's 25 years later.
Yeah, he died in 1997. If it's in 22 and she's 23, he would have had to have had her in 1999.
Right,
like he would have been very much dead.
But you could or just make
her older. There's no reason for her to be young.
Right. Because so now she's 25, or so either she's 25, but you want to say she's 23, but then she can't be Billy's.
She'd need to be 26 or 27.
Yeah. But just make the gap between the sisters more. Yeah. Otherwise, you're like, this girl, Tara's like 20 years old as like a senior or something. So it's like she's way too old.
And she could have played looks the age where she could have played 20 or 30. Like she's not like super young or old.
Right. Because they were like, oh, you were gone for 5 years and you left when you were 18. You've been gone for 5 years. So they're also confirming that she's now 23. But Billy died like 25 years ago. So there's just
more.
Yeah.
This is 2002. He died
2022.
26 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, 1 year.
I know. It just drives me nuts. And then I like it just you go round and round and round, and I'm like, God damn it! Like this is so annoying. Also a couple like fun items though that I like about this is that Kirby comes back in Scream 6, but she confirms that she was a high school classmate of Melissa Barrera's character. I like that shit. Like so Judy Hicks, who we get introduced to in Scream 4, who also comes back in Scream 5, the police officer that kind of has a crush on Dewey. She was also a classmate of like Sydney and Casey and all that. I like all that shit. So that's good. But no, this age thing drove me fucking nuts because it would have been an easy fix. Just make her like a little bit older. That's fine. She could be 25.
I always hate that kind of shit because it just takes a few pen strokes to figure it out and make it right.
Yeah. And like they hammered it so many times. And even at the end of I think it's Scream 5, they even say something like one of the newscasters is like on the anniversary of an event that happened here like 25 years ago. Then you're like, then this girl can't be 23.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Scream 5 does conclude in the same place that Scream 1 concludes, which is sort of like a classic reboot, requel kind of thing. But so
and we get the introduction of like the requel crew, right? Like all of the nieces and nephews and stuff.
Yeah. The core 4, as it's later known. Dewey dies in this.
Yeah.
One. What do you think of that?
Well, I give him the MVP just for dying as being one of the longest standing cast members. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good scene, and I think every once in a while, even in horror movies where people live on forever, you do have to kill someone of weight to make it feel worth it. And I think they did that in this one. And the next one, there's really not any original people really. So it's a little more difficult, but
yeah, I think it was time. I'm with you. Like, and you got a couple fake out deaths too, where like at the end of movies,
Yeah, they're on like a stretcher when they're coming out. Yeah.
So
But like people got fucking fucked up in this one. I actually did the stats. So Scream 1, there were 2 pre-movie deaths if you count like the mother.
Yep.
7 main kills. Scream 2, 10 total kills. Scream 3, 9. Scream 4, 10. And this had the least 6.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But probably one of the biggest ones because it killed a character who had been in it for 4 movies.
Definitely. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, Dewey's one of the big deaths. He'd been a survivor to this point. And there was also, remember that documentary that came out? It was like You Can't Kill David Arquette. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's fucking wrestling backyard.
Yeah,
dudes.
like crazy, ridiculous stuff where he's like going through broken glass.
Yeah, then he had the death match with Nick
Oh,
Cage
yeah.
or whatever. That guy's a maniac. Yeah. It was nuts. And Luke Perry was the one that got him out of there to like save his life, basically.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Those guys were good buds, I guess. I also like, because it had been so long since a Scream movie had came out, and some of the references that they had conversations about elevated horror, which I thought was good because that had sort of like taken off. Like all these movies, it's like, like It Follows, or like a lot of the Jordan Peele ones, like, oh, that's elevated horror, or like the A24.
Yeah.
But they like reference that. Jenna Ortega says that she likes that. But basically, Amber and Richie are like, they're actually, the reveal too is like they're actually boyfriend girlfriend, and they want to like, they want to make the stab movies better. Like, take it. Scream 6 comes out 1 year later. You get an opening with Samara Weaving. Love her. She was great in Ready or Not. And she's on a blind date, and then she ends up walking down an alley, and dude pops off, kills her, and
we get a reveal.
Yeah, pops the mask off right away for the first time. Like that. Keeping us on our toes.
I think Davey had the idea for one of the movies where like you get the killer's perspective the whole time. That would be cool.
He said, call it Ghostface. And
yeah.
That would be the killer. So I like that. That was cool because you're like, all right, it's not just the same thing. We're dealing with something completely different. But then even one step further, it turns out that dude's just like a bum, and that they kill that guy too. And he's like, not even one of the main killers.
Yeah, like right away too.
Yeah, right? But dude did not last long. The ending on Scream 6, it's like an old abandoned like movie theater, also like a Woodsboro Ghostface museum that they kind of put together. There's a lot going on. They have a lot of artifacts from the previous 5 movies.
Yeah, I didn't love this one. I also hate this dude, like the detective guy. Like I just hate his face. He was in Shameless as well. Like there's something about him I just have never liked. And I hate his voice. Like everything about this dude I just don't like.
Yeah, Dermot Mulroney.
Oh, the worst.
He's in a million things, this guy. I also am not a fan. I think he's the worst Scream killer.
Yeah, and then and this is the only one with 3 killers because he has his 2 idiots with him that are just like it's just.
Yeah,
I didn't hate the movie.
Yeah,
it was fun to see a Scream in theaters because that's the other thing with these things. I didn't see him in theaters until the last 2. So it was fun to go see. I actually went on dates. It's a great date movie, as you said, like horror movies.
It's a natural aphrodisiac.
Sure is.
Yeah.
But like it's a fun theater experience. So I do love getting the popcorn and the soda. I can't wait for this weekend. But it's just this one was not as good as I even like 3 better at this point.
So it's funny you say that because I feel the same way. I think when this movie came out, and you and me are both recency bias people. So when this movie came out, I even then though I was like, well, it's better than all of the, or I'm sorry, it's worse than all of them but 3. But now after rewatching them all this week, I'm like, I like 3 more than this, or at least 3 is more fun to rewatch. I don't know if it's like a better movie, but it's like it's more fun to rewatch, and that's what's important. And you're like, this has the worst killers across the board. It's got either the 5th or 6th best beginning of all of them, either the 5th or 6th best ending of all of them. There's no Nev Campbell. And so they fucking were like lowballing her. So credit to her for being like, I'm not going to be in it. They have like a throwaway line in the movie
about her. Yeah.
Gail's like, don't come to fucking New York or whatever. It's also not in Woodsboro, which, I guess
fine.
Take it or leave it. Yeah. I don't think that's the be all end all. It's in New York. This is the first of all these movies though, that I really thought could have been 20 minutes less. Like this was too long. You could have trimmed out a bunch of stuff. In fact, the only legacy character you had was Gale Weathers, and there's this like long drawn out scene in her apartment, which is like a cool big apartment. But her boyfriend gets killed. She doesn't even like bat an eye. She gets chased around the apartment for a while, obviously survives, and then you're just like, what even was that? And then the train scene I thought took forever, although there were some cool scares in there.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was like a well shot, like
It's a long
excite-
scene.
but yeah, it I don't know. So if you look at it like the requel, like the one from 2022, the one right before this, 5, well done, and then Scream 1, well done, and then they followed it up with a really good sequel. This,
Yeah.
not so much, but it is funny they are tracking for the exact same timeline, I think, right? So it was 96, 97, and then this is 2022, 2023, 2026.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like the same distance of
Oh, that's interesting.
movies. I do think they're gonna crush 7. I think because I think you'll have some of the original cast back, what's left of it.
Yeah.
And I really did like the trailer. And I think people, hopefully whoever is working on it knows, like this is my friend Ben, who we've had in a couple of our Scream podcasts. Like there are so many people like you that this is like,
Yeah, it's a big
it.
deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah. I'm interested with this because Wes Craven directed the first 4, and then Matt Bettinelli, Olpin, and Tyler Gillette, they like worked together. They did that movie Ready or Not that I really liked. They did Scream 5 and 6, and now Kevin Williamson, the original writer, the guy who wrote the first 2 and the 4th one, he's co-writing this and directing it. And he didn't direct a lot of stuff. I think he directed Teaching Mrs. Tingle, and that might be it. I think this is like the second movie he's directed.
Well, I'm in because if you look at 1, 2, and 4,
no, he writes good stuff.
That's tight writing, like very. Those are the movies I would point to that have the most logical, no fluff kind of endings.
But they're also dealing with some like issues, like sort of off the field, as it were. So like they couldn't get a contract for Neve Campbell. She obviously would have been back in the last one and wasn't, but she's now back in 7. And then Melissa Barrera, I forget what the controversy. It had something to do with Palestine and Israel.
Yeah.
She said something. I think she literally was something like, "Oh, people shouldn't kill kids or something." It wasn't whatever she said. Shouldn't have been that crazy. And they were just like, "You're out."
Yeah.
And then Jenna Ortega's like, "Well, I'm not doing it then." And so now you had your 2 leads that you just set up for the last 2 movies. Both survived the last one. You're walking it off like Sam is still having like these visions of her dad, and now Tara is now hooking up with Chad after 2 movies. Like they're now a couple. And now what? Like, are you even gonna like mention them? How's this gonna work?
Yeah, I would have liked at least Jenna Ortega to be in the movie. It is a little disappointing that they couldn't keep that consistency and introduce those characters back together.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have faith in the franchise because it is probably the most. I mean, this and Halloween. I mean, they've made the most movies that have been like released in theaters, I would imagine, to large scale audiences. I don't know, like if anyone else has done this many.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think all the Saw has all been.
That's true. Yeah.
Up to 10, and those have all been like low budget, big box office. But yeah, this is already 7, which is certainly a ton.
For ones that aren't just like, crappy Jason versus Freddy or Leprechaun type stuff.
Yeah.
Big budget, big box office stuff.
Yeah.
This and Halloween is up there. And this is not like Halloween where they've had remakes of remakes of remakes. So
yeah, no, for sure. And then you've had Gale in all these movies. You've had Sydney will be in 6 of 7. Another question for you. Something that started immediately in Scream 2 and has been sort of a thread through all these is the stab movies. And it is even sort of like we didn't even mention. Let's just do this. Let's close the loop. So the killers end up in Scream 6 were that kid Jason at the beginning who kind of came and went. And then it was Wayne, Ethan, and Quinn, who were all Richie's family. Like you find out that they were all related to Richie. So that was like a letdown. Do you have an MVP for Scream 6?
What did I write down here? I don't think Chad, maybe.
I wrote down maybe Chad as well. I also thought Sam, just because I like her, and I liked Kirby coming back. So I also threw Kirby down because because 4 seems like its own movie. So anytime you get a character from 4, like Kirby or like Judy Hicks in 5, I'm like, at least they're acknowledging 4. Like, so I appreciate that part of it.
Yeah, I think 4. If we were gonna say most underrated,
definitely
4.
definitely 4. I ranked the killers.
Okay.
Let me know what you think of this list for the killers. I went with
Hot Fuss number 1. No.
I'll start with let's go 13 to 1 because I technically wrote Jason in, even though there's probably 12 killers, but like he got a kill. So I'd say Wayne was number 13.
The cop, right? Yeah, terrible.
Ethan stinks, his son. Jason stinks. Quinn, who I'll at least give her credit for having the good fake death. Like we thought she was dead.
Yeah.
She came back to like for the reveal. So that was
So it's just 6 is your bottom.
That's my bottom. I will give them credit for we didn't really see in the other movies 2 Ghostface at the same time.
That's true.
Looking like tag team partners. We're looking like the same height, wearing the thing, doing like the knife, the blood wipe at the same time. Like so that's good. Then at number 9, I would go with Charlie Walker from 4. At 8, I'm going Roman Bridger from 3. Although he's the only solo killer, and I believe because of that has the most kills for an individual Ghostface. I'm gonna go with Mickey Altieri at 7. I'm going Richie at 6.
From 5.
I'm gonna go Jill Roberts at 5.
Ooh, okay.
But then I'm going Nancy Loomis / Debbie Salt at 4. Amber Freeman at 3. Then Stu, then Billy.
Yeah, I might put Jill ahead of Amber, and then Billy and Stu's like a
combo,
like a photo finish. But yeah. I like Stu isn't like you can't tell who's responsible for the most kills, but as like a takeaway from the movie, the character I like the most is Stu.
Yeah,
probably of any movie.
It's good.
He's the funniest. He's scary. Like he's all over the screen. He has the biggest performance probably out of anybody that I think people tried to equal that no one can equal. Because like his version of a big crazy guy is perfect for what he can do. You know what I mean? Like I think in Timothy Olyphant tried to do that in 2 and didn't come close.
100%. I feel like every movie has some sort of big screaming reveal. In fact, Dermot Mulroney is horrible. Like you think he's doing like a fake movie. You're like, wait, are we doing this serious or we're just not at all serious? Because you're right. A lot of things that they're chasing from the first one. I guess I don't even think about that, but you're right. Like Stu's overall performance and like how like a reveal, like a killer revealing what they've done can be super corny if you're not doing it like the right way.
Even like his little stuff, like the liver alone.
Yeah, liver alone.
His delivery of that being such a goofy,
right?
But like also you could tell he was the popular guy. Like people like that, and it's like he crushed. The role.
Yeah, he was really good. Speaking of roles, I have some Scream casting what ifs. So Sidney Prescott, going all the way back to the original Scream, where Nev Campbell has now done it for many decades. We mentioned Drew Barrymore. The other ones that were in consideration. Is it a better franchise with any of these? Reese Witherspoon, Melissa Joan Hart, Brittany Murphy, and Alicia Witt.
Who was the first one? Brittany Murphy?
Brittany Murphy, Reese Witherspoon, Melissa Joan Hart.
No.
I think Nev Campbell's the call.
I think you need the brunette.
Yeah, Nev Campbell was really good. For Billy Loomis, although this is conflicting, so the internet is obviously trusted at your own, but Billy and Stu, it looks like multiple people either were considered for or auditioned for both. And so all 3 of these names were for Billy and Stu. Freddie Prinze Jr., Vince Vaughn, and David Arquette was actually up for those 2, but then they ended up casting him as Dewey. Because if you look at it, he's basically the same age as all those guys.
So David Arquette, I think, would have been the only one of that group. I would have been like, okay. And I think it's also my theory with the Royal Rumble with these kinds of movies. It's like, give me the unknown.
Yeah.
Because at the time, like, was Jenna Ortega like super known when she did that movie? Like, maybe a little.
That might have been like the start of her becoming like
And like Melissa Barrera, the same thing.
yeah, no.
Like, I didn't really know either of them, and I was like, I like that. I don't want
Mhm.
like make the person like the Drew Barrymore casting to
Yeah.
get you in was perfect.
Yeah, because
Like,
Vince Vaughn, that would have been the year Swingers came out.
it would have been so
Would've been so-
weird.
And
He
he's
would like,
so tall too. Like it's tough to like,
and
although
his hairline was back from like he's got a worse hairline than me at 42, probably than he did whenever 1996 was around.
yeah,
Like, I think they
Arquette might have-
crushed the casting,
I do too.
especially for
Yeah,
Billy. Out of all of them, I think Billy and Stu, perfect casting.
I agree. I think Freddie Prinze wouldn't have been able to pull off the Billy. Like he
Had
was
all of
good-
those movies come out though, like I wouldn't have trusted him as like, you know,
No, he hadn't. I Know What You Did Last Summer was 97. So
She's All That or whatever that movie
that was
is.
probably 98 or 99. I don't think
So
that was-
maybe, but
Yeah.
he probably would have had a completely different career trajectory if he had played Billy Loomis.
also true. Yeah.
So I think it's best for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. Like they did a great job with this. Gail Weathers, apparently Janine Garofalo declined. She was offered the role, declined. And then they also were interested in Brooke Shields.
She
Like-
would have been good.
I think she would have been really good, actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Courtney-
she would have fit.
I love Courtney Cox. Big fan of Courtney Cox.
I
So-
mean, knowing local news reporters,
Yeah.
somewhat. Yeah, it fits.
For Tatum, played by Rose McGowan, I guess Natasha Lyonne was up for that.
Oh, I do love her.
She'd be good at that one. It was a similar kind of character.
Was that before American Pie too? Then yeah, right?
Yeah, it was. It was like a couple years before. So,
She
yeah.
would have done it. Yeah, that would have been fine.
These are the Randys:
Ooh.
Brecken Meyer, Jason Lee, and Seth Green. And
Seth Green is basically the same thing.
So apparently,
Jason Lee, I love Jason Lee. Jason Lee
Me
would have been
too.
good.
Jason Lee would have been really good. And this was a year, I believe, after Mallrats. I feel like he's too old.
I feel like he's a little bit. I don't know. I think the red hair just fits the oddballness. So like him or Seth Green would have been good.
It would have been pretty good. I guess the studio, at least according to what I read, they wanted one of those other three guys because they were like bigger names at the time, but Wes Craven really wanted Jamie Kennedy. So they got Randy. Then the only one I could find for the newer ones was for Jill Roberts, played by Emma Roberts. Ashley Greene was the top choice. She was
Who's
in
she?
Twilight. I had to look her up. She had like dark hair and or dark short hair in Twilight. She might have been pretty good. And apparently Aubrey Plaza also auditioned.
That's like the same thing as Emma Roberts, just with dark hair. The Ashley Green, she looks familiar. I don't know what she acts like though.
I'm
So
not really
I
sure.
think they did a perfect job because she seemed like a girl I went to high school with who was mad.
Yeah.
Like that is like how I would describe Emma Roberts as like the mean, not super popular, but not unpopular, like just girl who would be mean to you.
Yeah, definitely. The movies within a movie, the Stab franchise. Do you think the Stab movies would have been good movies?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, in the way that like I watch or listen to the How Did This Get Made podcast where they do like the 80s like B
Yeah.
movie or like B horror movies all the time. I think it would have been like that because it would have been not scary movie-esque, but like,
Yeah.
you know, the chopping mall type of horror movies.
Well, it's funny because it's kind of like the motivation for the killers in Scream 5. So maybe they were really good, and then they got kind of bad. And so I don't even know. I mean, maybe they're even kind of looking at the Scream movies. Maybe they're kind of even pointing to like
How it
happened earlier.
progressed.
Yeah, maybe like Scream 3 or whatever. So I also looked up because you can see it. They reference it a couple times. Obviously, it's brought up quite a bit in Scream 3. And then there's also a screenshot that I took during I think it's the most recent Scream 5, where they're on their phone looking at the Stab movies and it has the cast list. So Sidney Prescott was played by Tori Spelling
Mhm.
until that Angelina Tyler was supposed to take her spot, and then they obviously canceled Stab 3. Gail Weathers was played by Jennifer Jolly, Parker Posey's character. Dewey Riley was played by David Schwimmer. Billy Loomis was played by Luke Wilson. Casey Becker was played by Heather Graham, which we see in Scream 2. That was a real movie. And I think Robert Rodriguez directed that scene within the scene.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a cool thing. Randy Meeks was played by somebody named Christopher Speed, which is funny because there's a line where he tells Dewey that he got played by Joe Blow Nobody. It's like, how come I got
That's
nobody
pretty
played?
good.
Tatum Riley was played by Alicia Silverstone. Stu Macher was played by Vince Vaughn, and
Oh.
Principal Himry, it said, was Ron Howard. It's kind of funny.
Oh, so they always, it's like a shout out to everything. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's very, very meta. All right, before we get out of here, Billy, Scream 7 prediction. So we know Nev Campbell's back. We know that Melissa Barrera or Sam and Tara are not in it. Where are they going to go with this? What's the play?
So from the trailer, it looks like the main thing is Sydney's daughter, which I like.
Yep.
That makes sense. They reference it, I think, a little bit in each of the previous movies that she has a family now. So I like that. I love them being in the walls in one of the trailers. The only thing I don't like, you've referenced it, I've referenced it, and this is a major spoiler for people who've like avoided it. And the only reason I watched the trailer is because I was doing this, because I usually just skip them. If I like, I know I'm gonna see something. It's like,
yeah.
I'm
I
in.
don't want to
Like,
see it.
I don't
Wait,
even want.
are you just talking about who we know is in the movie?
Yeah.
Or no? Okay. Yeah. That's annoying.
Yeah, I was just like, don't come on, like I don't need that. It was like I don't know how they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, but I would have liked to have been fully in the theater, shocked.
Yeah.
And now I'm not gonna be.
I also wonder if it's been confirmed yet, is because in Scream 6, when Gail says something and she's like, oh, Sydney is like with Mark and the kids or whatever.
Mm.
And so Mark is the police officer that she goes out with in Scream 3. So I assume they're still together. Like, so I wonder, like, will that be confirmed? And as much as I'm interested in what they might do with obviously Sydney, her daughter, Gail, how do you explain away Sam and Tara not being there? Like, what is that going to be like? Because Chad is in the movie. So it's one thing if you're like, hey, we're moving on from the core four and we're going back and it's going to be a Sydney only movie. Then you don't even need to explain it. But now you have to explain it. And I wonder how much time, or is it just going to be like one throwaway line, or like, what are we going to get from that?
It could be any number of things. Maybe they're the off-screen kills, which you've seen in other movies that they do. But that would be lame. I would leave it open because I did like them both as characters. Leave it open for a Scream 8 at this point for me to have them come back. But maybe it's something where they're off and this current killer has no motivation to kill them, which to me is fine. I just, now that you saying that the writer of 1, 2, and 4 is in, I think I would put this, my expectation went up and it was already up. So I am going to be open-minded about what they're going to do, because to introduce what we think they're going to introduce, it's got to be creative, or at least somewhat convincing.
I agree. Yeah, and I wonder, like, it'll be something I haven't even thought of, like what the next wave of stuff is. They'll probably be ahead of their time in some regard.
Because with 5, the requel stuff and the nieces and nephews, the way they did that to set this up, rekindled it in a really kind of amazing way.
Yeah. All right, rank the movies before we get out of here. Scream 1 is everybody's top one. I feel like
4.
Yeah, see, I think it's easier to tier them. A classic Pop
Jones
Culture
Keefe.
Driver. Yeah, Jones Pop Culture Driver podcast style. Because I think you can make a case for 2, 4, and 5 as being the second best one. I might go 2, because I hate putting 4 so down low there, but like I like 5 a lot. And after rewatching 5 again, I was like, God damn, 5 is good. There's the there's some good stuff in 5. So
I think if you were to tier it, it would go 1 top tier, then 2, 4, 5
second tier,
middle, and then 3, 6 end. But if I were to rank them myself real quick, I would go 1, 4, 5, 2, 3, 6.
Yeah, I like it. I think I'll go 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 6. But yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway is all of a sudden 3 is moving up a little bit and 6 is moving down. That'd be the way to go.
I mean, you literally ranked all of the killers.
Yeah, they're the
Ranked
worst.
the
killers.
4 worst killers.
They throw 4 killers at you, and they all stink. So it's like, all right, that's the worst. That's the worst group. And I don't know. They had some decent stuff in there. There's the scene in the where they're like escaping through the with like the ladder from the
Apartments?
building,
Yeah, that was great.
So there's some good stuff in there. But all right, anything else? Any other final thoughts here on Screams? It's a Scream.
Comes out Friday, right?
Comes out Friday. Yeah, you gonna be back on Monday for the
Oh, hell yeah.
I think Goose said he'd be back for that too.
All right, we'll see if we can get Rossi on board as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If he sees it this weekend, he is more than welcome to come on the pod next week. So everybody let us know. Feel free to send us your Scream movie rankings as well. Is there any other one? If there's a jumbled order, or which one's the worst one even? I think it's sort of a 2-horse race, but I don't know. People like different stuff. So let us know at Dork Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, dorkpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, you can subscribe on YouTube where we stream live on Monday nights. Then you can check out the pod wherever you get your pods. After that, Billy, a pleasure. We'll talk to you next week, Stir. In the meantime, stay curious.
The hashtag Dork Podcast.